present school outreach programs creating awareness of underwater cultural heritage through innovative technologies.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I'll begin. Thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Jentrix Chochy. I'm an anthropologist by profession and also an underwater archaeologist. I'm currently doing my master's at Nelson Mandela University, and I'm also an ECO representative for Ocean Decade and Heritage Network in East Africa. So I will begin. So this is the topic of my topic, so I'll continue moving on forward. These are the topics that I will cover for this project. So moving on swiftly, so I will begin by why I did this study. So when I'm building up on the 2001 UNESCO Convention, it focuses on creating awareness to the state parties. And I have noted that people tend to create awareness on underwater and cultural heritage globally through this convention, through the 2001 Convention, and also Ocean Decade and Heritage Network also emphasize on creating awareness of underwater cultural heritage. But why is my study unique? My study is unique because it not only creates awareness, but it also emphasizes on creating awareness through children's creativity and innovative technology. So the aim of my studies of this project is not only to create awareness, but also to display this content in a way that children can understand. So I will continue. So my area of focus is Lamoch Pelego, which is a World Heritage Site. And you may ask yourself which age group I'm focusing. I'm focusing on kids under the age of 6 to 11 years. So you may ask yourself why. This is because we are dealing with, this is like the upcoming generation, and if we want to ensure sustainability in underwater and cultural heritage protection, we have to focus on the young generation. So my study focused on 2 madrasa engagements. So I did madrasa because the kids were on holiday at that time. So moving on to my next slide, some of the ethical consideration had to be taken really careful because number 1, we are dealing with human subjects. Number 2, we are also dealing with kids who are like an important specific group. So you have to understand that this World Heritage Site in Lamu is very important, and you have to get the right papers to be able to conduct research because of terrorism issues that has happened before. So this process is quite long, to be honest. So because you have to get the papers, you go to the authorities. From there, they give you area chief, elder. So it's a long process. So after that, you do madrasa. So it's a whole lot of content. Also, I have to note that in this slide, I'm dealing with kids. So the issue of photos, videos needed to be well taken care of because you don't wanna do that without approval from their parents and from the school head. The issue of anonymity and confidentiality were also taken into consideration. So moving on to my next slide, you might ask yourself, this is where we started the whole project. So this slide focuses on deciphering on the kids' creativity on ocean issues through art. So when I reached the kid, the first thing I wanted to understand is, are they aware of what underwater cultural heritage is, or whatever is happening on the water? So I just told them, can you draw me anything you think is on the water, be submerged or on top of the water? And these are some of the arts that came forth, as you can see from this slide. I'll come back to this slide again. So from this activity, we picked the best photo, and this is the photo I picked. So the reason why we picked this photo, I wanted to introduce the kids on what maritime and underwater cultural heritage is. So from this photo, as you can see, we tried to transform it to a more creative way. So I used a lot of AI tools and additive also to make the images so lively so that the kids can understand. Remember, we are dealing with a small age group, yeah? So from this, we were able to create this kind of image. And also to make it more interesting, we created this kind of video. So they were really enjoying this experience. Moving on swiftly, the next slide was the classroom slide. So here we were just disseminating the knowledge to the kids. So in this slide, you have to understand underwater cultural heritage is a new concept, not only for kids but also for adults. So I had to explain it in a layman's language in a way they can understand. So these are the photos of some of the classroom engagement we had with the kids in the area, and a lot of YouTube videos were used from the UNESCO webpage and other pages to make them understand what I mean by underwater cultural heritage. So from this slide, I had to use innovative technology to make it interesting and break it down for them so that they can understand what I'm speaking about, because they are not getting the concept. So on this slide, we had to employ a lot of AI-generated animations and virtual reality to make them understand. So on this side, on my left, I did 2 AI videos. I will just play them. So these videos assisted them to understand what I'm speaking about. So this is just AI generated, but on this other side, these are real images. This is my friend and me. So I made this video AI animation so that they may interact with it more, because of course kids like cartoons and whatever. So this is my video, and then also you can also note that so this is what I did, and then this is how they were able to see the video. This down here is a real site. So they were able to see this site in, hope you can hear it and you can see. So this is how they see it on a virtual reality class. So you can also note that there's aspect of sound in this both videos. So this sound is so important because it kind of gives them a feel of how it feels like when you dive, when you're underwater, and also this is a real site they're able to relate to. So I'll move on to the next slide. So on this next slide, you might ask what are the results from that engagement? So the results, number one, is gave the learners a unique feeling that traditional ways of teaching could not have given them. Number two, it also increased their awareness of curiosity about marine diversity. Number three, it gave them a chance to virtually interact with the marine protected site and a historical and archaeological site, as you can see the way I've explained further. So another thing I can also note that, Another thing I can also note that students expressed a lot of interest in pursuing underwater marine and maritime heritage conservation in future. And this approach, it also fostered a sense of responsibility among these young learners, and they wanted to understand more and conserve this more in the future. So here I will explain about the outcomes of this research. This slide is important because it can inform stakeholders on upcoming projects they can invest in. So I will move back a little. Sorry, it can move faster. Okay. So on this slide, some of the outcomes that are coming forth is the aspect of pollution in the ocean. As you can see this, when I told the kids, can you draw me what they see in the ocean? You saw this one draw plastics, whatever. So it kind of informs you how the environment is in terms of pollution of the ocean. Another aspect you can see, I told them to draw what they think, and you see they drew a mermaid. So it also informs you the relevance of stories and myths that are traditionally told in the households around that area. And also, if you see the best photo you have here, it shows some fishermen, some traditional sailing boats. So it kind of informs you that what is available in terms of traditional knowledge systems surrounding the ocean in the area. And you can see this one drew an octopus and also drew a fish. So it also informs you that the people living there, they are highly depending on fishes and octopuses fishes and octopuses for like livelihood. So it's like fish and octopus is like an important food for their diet. So I'll move on closely. So this is what happened. So we can think about the future aspect for this project or maybe a similar project. So it's important to note that finances and a limited time to interact with the kids was an issue. So further research needs to be done to be able to do like an in-depth analysis of this study. Also to develop an accessible educational tool that is to collaborate with the software engineers and developers to create a more user-friendly that the kids can possibly like interact with it. Another thing is to adapt educational content to reflect like a unique aspect of UCH. So in the waters like as much as we are creating this, we should also try to create something that the kids can easily relate to, because you are in Africa, you can't be creating content for Europe. So if you create content that they can easily relate to, it can also help them understand how this is. So another thing is to engage stakeholders, including maritime archaeologists and cultural experts, to enrich content accuracy and relatability. This is self-explanatory. Another thing is to integrate a multidisciplinary approach. So in this sense, we are going to like encourage collaborators and educators to be able to come up with to combine art, and be able to tell these stories to the kids in a way that they can understand. Another thing also to expand teachers' training and knowledge, because we are trying to come up with a unique curricula for underwater cultural heritage, so that the kids can understand. We also have to train the teachers and come up with available resources that the teacher can use to disseminate the information. Another thing is to advocate the inclusion of underwater cultural heritage through education programs. So currently in Kenya, we don't have like a specific course for underwater cultural heritage, but if we introduce this in the curriculum, at least the kids will have like different opportunities or different career they can choose or be. So underwater cultural heritage being part of them. The last thing is to share these findings through publications and conference, like what I'm doing currently, and do like similar initiatives globally, not only in Kenya, but in different parts of Africa and globally. So that is all about my project. Thank you so much.